Yeah, hi everyone. It's great to be here and good to see many familiar faces. And yeah, thanks for inviting me for the panel. And yeah, it's a great opportunity to discuss on employment opportunities for international students in China because it's something that I have also been um, yeah, paying attention to like in the last couple of years. So also like a quick introduction. My name is Heather. I'm from Beijing, and I founded the Dot Connector as a platform to connect China and Africa talents and tech ecosystems 2 years ago. So I came back from the US where I studied for my college, and then my first job in Beijing was actually with Jing Jobs, and I see Marina was also on the panel. So I think that was an opportunity for me to understand the talent market in China because I know as like a overseas returnee, like there's always like a little bit reverse culture shock when you come back to your own country and you realize things might have changed. So like in the beginning, I took some time to understand the job market here, what people are looking for in cross-cultural talents, especially Chinese companies and also foreign startups. So yeah, like in my first 1 or 2 years in Beijing, I was very lucky to have a lot of networking opportunities to meet international students in Beijing who are in different schools in Haidian with alcohol, and just see how transition into career later in their life. Um, yeah, so I wanted to, yeah, because my focus was mostly on China, Africa when I first noticed that there is a little bit of gap between, like there are so many international students in China, but I think the job market might not always be so equipped for it. So like a lot of my friends after they graduate, they have to go back to their own country, or like during COVID, so many of my friends were stuck outside, or people were looking for opportunities to come back to China. So I think I wanted to explore a bit more, and especially for a lot of the African friends that I had, and I wanted to see how to bridge the gap for their education and also their job opportunities afterwards. So I think 2 years ago, there was a lot of hype in entrepreneurship in the startup community. And and also I think a lot of young African talents in technology. And that's a trend that I have seen growing on the African market and also in China. So I definitely think that's a great opportunity to tap into as our world becomes more normalized and the borders are open again. Yeah, so I'm working in PR consultant right now, and I have worked with several Chinese companies and also foreign startups. And I think yeah, and also I was running the China Digital Talent Group. It's a network in across Shanghai and Beijing. We share a lot of job opportunities in the digital industry, and we're a growing community of thousands of people, and there are hundreds of hires confirmed in the group. So in the past, I've hosted meetups and providing social networking opportunities for people to meet their potential employers in a more casual setting, because I think that's very important. Um, to have some informal relationships before you apply for the job or enter into the workplace, because then it's gonna give you an overview, a preview of how the work is going to be like, and build relationships in a less stressful environment than just going to the HR. Like you will have opportunities to meet some of the decision makers. And I think in China, there were like many networking opportunities for Chinese professionals and also overseas talents. So I think definitely utilize those opportunities will be very important. And I think this whole year of COVID, a lot of like international talents were not able to come back. But at the same time, I think there's still a lot of demand in the job market. Just because people are not physically in the country doesn't mean that you are not desirable, because a lot of Chinese companies are looking into expanding overseas. And I have seen so many jobs targeting on specific country markets in the last few years. And I think Chinese companies now are much more international, and the leadership and the organization culture is also slowly shifting to a more globalized culture. So yeah, I think those are great opportunities. Even if you're in your own country, I think you can start by like seeing what you can offer, what insights and knowledge that you have about your local market that could be potentially beneficial for your Chinese employer in the future. So maybe while you're in your country, you can reach out to some Chinese companies, and because like so many times I applied for jobs here that are not posted on the website, the JD was not ready, but because they see something that you are offering, they're willing to open up a job for you. So I think that's something you can look into. Yeah, just to create your own job opportunity and learn Chinese, because Chinese is very important in almost all the jobs that I have seen for foreigners. So yeah, I think those are the more essential things that I wanted to talk about. But also I think there are so many opportunities like local governments and universities are providing for international students. So when you're in China, yeah, definitely don't limit yourself and don't just like stay in your own circle, and trying to branch out more. And China's market is huge, and even I have realized what I learned in the first like 2 or 3 years back in China was nothing comparing to like the last 2 years, because just seeing how like the country is developing so fast. And yeah, and I think definitely try to utilize the governmental connections or schools resources, and look into starting your own company as well while you're here, and just see like what policies are supporting you. And yeah, try to be a bit more strategic and make a plan. And I think also a lot of my friends are English teachers, and I don't think there is anything wrong about being an English teacher. And I think that's like a very respectful profession. And if you want to make the career transition after being an English teacher, I think it also gives you like a lot of time and flexibility and stability. So even when you're teaching English, you can try to get skills elsewhere, video editing, social media, and just put yourself out there. And I think, yeah, there's really a lot to explore. And if you are interested in going back to your own country, and I think because so many people are in China, but they don't really have a long-term plan. It's kind of like, let's see how it goes. And then like year pass on. And I think if you want to go back to your own country, you can also have an exit plan, and just trying to see how you can utilize your experience here and how it could be beneficial to create jobs in your own country. Because maybe not everyone, like China maybe is a transition for a lot of people. So keep it in mind that you might have to go home, and there's nothing you're losing. You're only gaining your experience here, resources, and just try to link it to wherever you're going next. That's what I have to share, and welcome any questions.
Hi, Heather. Thank you for the sharing. Yes, there are some questions for you. I think students are, all the participants are pretty much very excited with having you here. So let me check the questions. Right, so the first one is related to, because I noticed that your work is pretty much related to China and Africa relation, right? So there's a student, there is a participant asking that he's now in Ghana. Do you have any opportunities for those outside of China? So maybe can you share a little bit of tips of like the applicants from African, especially, like what are the tips, or what should they prepare, or what should they expect coming to China, or like especially working in China?
Yeah, I think just definitely do your research if you're interested in coming back to China, coming to China. Look up for the Chinese companies that has operations in your country, because I've searched for a Chinese company in Africa, especially in Ghana, because that's actually where I'm preparing for my career transition. I'd like to work in Ghana very soon. But yeah, I looked up for the Chinese company that has offices in Ghana and Nigeria, go meet them in the office, because I think maybe in Ghana or like in Nigeria, you can like just yeah, it's easier to like go meet them, and I think they would really value it, because a lot of the Chinese products, they really need talents to help them localize it to the markets, and you'll be a very valuable asset and just show initiative, and yeah, I think you would have a lot to offer.
Right. There's another question. So, what entrepreneurial tricks have you discovered to keep you focused and productive in your day-to-day busy schedule?
Yeah, because I think for me, I also like didn't really intend to be an entrepreneur, and it just happened. So I think for me, like getting inspirations from other people is very important for me. Like just seeing what someone else is doing and see how you can apply it in your own practice, and always, yeah, looking to learn and treating everything as an opportunity to learn.
Cool. Right. So there's another one is so another participant is asking for your LinkedIn profile. So I think Heather will definitely share it later. And then, so everybody, if you want to connect with Heather or if you want to connect with the dot connector, you can connect with them.
Can I add one thing?
Yes,
Nadia,
yeah, sure. Sure, James.
Just one thing that Heather said, I think is really important. I mean, all of it was, but there was one point in particular about, sometimes you have to go back to your home country, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of people start their careers, in some kind of way in China as a student. And I did go back to London, but the fact that I worked in London for 2 years actually made it easier for me to start my career in China, because having 2 years of work experience makes it easier to get the visa. So in a certain kind of way, I was actually making myself, more employable, or make it easier to get the visa by not being here. I didn't maybe think of it in those terms at the time, but be aware that you can still be increasing your chances even when you're outside of the country. Super good point, Heather.
Thanks.
Right. So again, thank you, Heather, for your sharing and also for your presentation. And guys, if you'd like to stay connected with Heather, we will share her LinkedIn profile and also the link to the dot connector, so you can stay connected with them. Thank you.